Tell me what you think the difference between the parties is coming from your perspective.
Well, I think that we've covered it fairly well, except that what I have to say is I think it comes full circle. You have to think about the whole thing economically and the impact. If you look at the Republicans and you say that they are more oriented toward business, you know, I will say this, I will say to you that without business and without capital and those persons who are willing to invest, there's nowhere for this country to go. However, without the people like all of us, you know, there's a place for all of us, but you can't get rid of the investor and the capitalist and expect this economy to be able to function unless, of course, you're looking at true socialism where you say we're going to redistribute the wealth. And we know that that's just a recipe for disaster, because when you start doing that, there's no incentive. There's no incentive really for all of us to go out and work hard and study and do the best job that we can do, because the outcome is going to be the same. Everything's going to be redistributed so that whether or not you've invested yourself, your outcomes will be no different, because at the end of the day, it's all been redistributed. There's a place for all of us, and I think at some point we need to recognize that and stop bad-mouthing. We need to say, okay, somebody's willing to invest in this country, and we're the part that they need, because we are the next link in the chain. And so yeah, I do think that probably, and there again, you can't, it's not black or white, because you've got conservative Democrats and you've got liberal Republicans. So there is some room in the middle there. But probably historically, if you look at it, you're going to see that. You're going to see that there's more liberalism with the Democratic Party. You're going to see that they have spent a lot of time and effort and money, and not all wastefully so. Some projects have come to fruition. But I think we need to be more fiscally responsible, and I think that there are a lot of liberal parties or programs or platforms that we're not seeing that kind of fiscal responsibility, that we need to keep this country strong. And that's what I fear about the liberal Democrat, that we don't quite have that focus and that understanding of economics.
Well, I don't think that they're heading so much towards socialism, but I think that all Americans of any party are seeing the difference too great between the person who works in the stockroom and the person who owns the company. Mm-hmm. I think everybody is tired of hearing about executives who make $10, $12 million a year in a company that we, the taxpayers, are bailing out. This is wrong.
Well,
I mean this kind of, from the bottom to the top difference is too great.
Paying bonuses to some of those very same persons who are in fact responsible.
Well, some of those people are going to go to jail.
Of course, we have, some of those should go to jail.
Right.
And there should be public outcry.
I think there is. For
that to happen. But however, you know, our system is at fault because they didn't really do anything illegal. It was made so liberal.
Some of them actually did do illegal things.
Well, some of them.
How about conscience? What role does conscience play in
any
sense of ethics?
That's the change we need.
But the thing of it is, you can send everybody to an ethics class.
Right.
All right, they learn it, they understand what it is, but that doesn't mean that in their personal lives they're going to practice it.
Well, we need to have a better system for ferreting out.
We shouldn't forget it. What maybe we need to do is say there are going to be more repercussions.
Right.
And this is another thing that I see in America that's very, very disappointing, and that we have a huge lack of personal responsibility. Everybody's got an extenuating circumstance. You know, well, yeah, I had to steal that makeup because my mother wouldn't give me the money to buy it, and I came from a bad home, and yada, 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 yada. We have to stand up and say, you know what? I really dropped the ball here, and I could have done it better. Instead of making excuses for everybody, let's go back to being personally responsible and stop underwriting all this kind of stuff.
Right, but it works for businesses too, the same idea. they need to lead the
Absolutely.
way. You know, we should not be bailing them out when they mismanage their own funds.
And
It's wrong.
deregulation set the stage for
Right.
that. Yeah,
And those are the people that are
controls.
getting the tax credits under the
Yes,
Bush
right.
administration.
And I will tell you, in May of this year, Bush went to Congress and said, we've got a horrible problem. We have got to do something with the mortgage industry. And he was rebuffed. He couldn't get one thing to happen. Now, maybe it was too little too late, but it wasn't that the alarm was not sounded. And one morning we woke up and the bottom fell out.
So they
We
were
were
both
all-
wrong. So the president was wrong and the Congress was wrong, but.
Well, that's it. That's what I said. There's plenty of
Congress,
Enough
responsibility.
they're two separate, they are two divided along
Do you know
party
what, they're-
lines,
they're
and
all-
neither one stands
they're
on the side of
all-
right.
They're all more worried about their own personal objectives. They forget about the big picture. They're looking at this little teeny tiny picture and saying, instead of saying, this may not be best for my constituency right now, but if it's the best thing for the country, at the end of the day, we'll all benefit. So yeah, you know what? Maybe I won't be reelected, but I did what was right as an American for this nation.
And looking at the two candidates for president, can you really search your heart and say that, you know, that person who would really act in the right way, regardless of what it meant to him, you can really say that's John McCain?
I can really say that I don't believe that it's Barack Obama.
That's not the
Because
same
he's
thing as saying that you
untried.
believe it's
Because
John
he's
McCain.
untried. He has the most liberal record.
Could it be much worse?
Could it be much worse?
Right. I think that he is an
I don't-
intelligent man and he can lead us, hopefully, in a new direction.